This game of who will advance. There's also been some new VAR announcements which were actually introduced into tonight's game.
We didn't get, there was no VAR.
I know. It's only the final decision what would be announced. It would have been trialled if that would have gone on. However, Ange Postecoglou has been asked about it. Here's what he had to say. He said, do I welcome it? No. Do you think if they had shown the handball on the weekend that our supporters would have been happy? Would they have come away and said, oh, that's great? They explained it. It does seem as though he might still be dwelling on what did happen the other day in the game against Newcastle. Is that a problem?
Yeah. Well, I think the least of his... Well, I mean, look, do managers and players dwell on things? Yes. You can't change it now. Davey was saying to me yesterday, well, everybody's doing it now. But because everybody's doing it doesn't mean it's correct. It's to overplay against one of the better sides in the Premier League who'll close you down. You're at home. You've just taken the league. That's as big a problem to me as the handball. It's game management. And Tottenham's game management has been horrendous recently. Absolutely horrendous. So Postecoglou's issue here is he's playing a team over two legs that, although they had a particularly average game at the weekend, Liverpool, they're the best team in the country. And what has changed from the game a couple of weeks ago where Liverpool ripped them apart? What has changed that any of us could sit here and say, yeah, I can really see Tottenham over two games beating this Liverpool side? That's a hard sell, is it not? Well, I mean, that's got to be one of the toughest. And am I missing something? Has somebody gone for Tottenham to go through over two legs?
Because you never know what you're going to get with them. They can feel like that with them sometimes, though.
I know what I'm going to get from Tottenham at the moment against Liverpool. Liverpool are one of the smartest, cleverest sides in the Premier League, and when they went to Tottenham, what do you call that? I don't even know what you call Tottenham Stadium. The Tottenham. Yeah. We used to call it 3 Point Lane, but that was before they sort of shoveled it. They shoveled it right. They shoveled it round a little bit. But anyway, we do. That's the problem, Kay. We do know what we're going to get from them. We're going to get some entertaining football, and we're going to get a side that are as open as you can be. And when you do that against the best of the best, and that's what Liverpool are in England at the moment, they're going to carve you apart. So why would it be any different than the game a couple of weeks ago?
Is Liverpool's defence the best of the best right now?
If we're going on their last game, no, they're not. Somehow the discussion has gone to VAR announcements within the stadium and that handball that led to the opening goal. It's beside the point that Spurs were the beneficiaries of easily the worst VAR refereeing mistake against Liverpool last season, but we're not going to go that far.
That's a grudge.
Right, we're not going to go that far. We're not going to go that far back, are we, Ange? But to my point, we're now talking about, from a Spurs perspective, we're back talking about the handball. We're back talking about a game that you lost at home, as opposed to focusing on exactly how poor Liverpool were. And while if you're on a slot, you're focusing on that, you know we can't be that bad 2 times in a row, Ange is just playing into the hands of a substandard Spurs. And that, for me, is the biggest disappointment.
Let's be honest, Tottenham could get, they could get absolutely smashed over 2 games here. And that would, I think ultimately that would cost him his job, because I think Levy would just pull the trigger. The fans would be so irate that his openness and his inability or unwillingness to sort of just adapt and change whilst the cavalry come back, I think it's just irking too many people. Now, that might not happen, but I think that doesn't happen if we go to Liverpool quickly. For them, it comes down to attitude. And the one guy who was talked about most across the board at the weekend was Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, I saw a bunch of pundits, quotes from pundits, and to me, a lot of people just missing the point here about, well, Alexander-Arnold can have a bad game and Liverpool can have a bad day at the office. And I get that. Yes, absolutely, yes. But that, for me, watching that game at the weekend, wasn't the issue. The issue was attitude, particularly with the fullback. When you allow people to waltz and saunter past you, and you don't even, for example, the Amad Diallo goal, I think it was, when, I can't remember who, the United player that came inside, Alexander-Arnold is walking. Right, that's not having a bad game.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of people have just completely missed the point here. That's not having a bad day at the office. That's unwilling to try and do your job. Stop the crosses, stop the wide players. And I saw that from him a lot at the weekend. And Van Dijk was giving him either a rollicking or a serious stare. And to me, he was, I think, a little bit, I'm surmising here, Alexander-Arnold, and he wasn't the only one, but he's a big star name who was subject of a bid from Real Madrid, and he looked to me as if he was sulking a little bit about how it's been handled and about the perception of the Liverpool fans, a lot of them, to the fact that he is keen to make the move, which I agree with, by the way, and I think most sensible people would say, hey, Real Madrid, Liverpool are a great club, they come along, grab it, go. And I think most sensible people would say to Alexander-Arnold, take that. But there's a lot of Liverpool fans who they can't see it, and I think that irked him. And what we saw, and sorry for going on, but what we saw was an attitude from a player that certainly we haven't seen this season, and that's a big difference from having a bad game. That's just a huge world apart.
Frank, is that one of the reasons that you're predicting a Spurs win here?
Well, because it's going to do, I mean, they have a chance to have a little break. There are two legs in that game, and on Saturday they played against Arsenal, I think, in the FA Cup. So they have a chance to give. Well, Arne Slot has a chance to give some rest to the main players, and I think he's going to come maybe with the C team at the Spurs Stadium. So because he knows that there is a return game and that he can get the difference over there, and it's why I put 2-1, because I think Tottenham will put the A team, and maybe we're going to see a C team from Liverpool. That's the only reason why I think Tottenham is going to win, because I agree with the guys. If Liverpool come with the first team, the A team, and being upset with the performance that they had against Manchester United, they're going to react, and it's going to be very bad for Spurs. But I don't see that coming. I think Slot will going to be clever, and maybe it's going to give her some rest to the main players.